Adding a new fan to a computer can keep it cooler, but it may also make it louder. Now the answer here is to try and get the best of both worlds with a really slow, quiet fan when you're not doing very much, but a faster fan with better cooling when you're starting to push the PC, whether you're playing games or editing video. The way to do that is with a fan controller like this one here. This will vary the voltage of the electricity going into the fan, changing the speed. Now this X-Vision from AeroCool is quite nice because it's got temperature sensors on it as well, so you've got a better idea of how cool your PC is and whether or not you need to increase the speed of the fans. Now it's quite simple to fit, don't worry about all the cables, it's actually more straightforward than it looks. The first step is to actually put it into the PC itself, and it will use one of the 5¼ inch bays at the top of the case. So carefully slot it in, getting all the cables in first. And then screw it firmly into position using the screws on the side. Now the X-Vision can control up to 5 fans, but the first fan that it's going to control is the one actually cooling the CPU on the center here. So we're going to need to unplug it from the motherboard, plug it into the X-Vision and plug the X-Vision into the power of the computer. It's also going to go into the motherboard socket that you unplug the CPU fan as well. This is because the motherboard monitors the speed of that fan, so it may give you an error if it doesn't think that it's turning or if it's just not connected at all. So unplug CPU fan and find the fan 1 socket from the X-Vision and just plug it together like that. And then you'll see here this is the extra cable and this goes back in the CPU fan here. The next step is to connect the temperature sensor that goes with fan 1 onto the CPU heatsink so you can monitor how hot it is, and X-Vision provides some special stickers for that purpose. So temperature sensors are all together on this ribbon here. Look for the one that says temp 1, remove the protected covering and then stick it onto the heatsink. You want to try and get that as close to the bottom of the heatsink as you can. The final step is to connect the X-Vision to the computer power supply, as it needs something to drive all the lights on the front. So find its Molex power connector marked power and plug it in to a spare Molex connector on the computer. And you can repeat this for as many fans as you've got connected inside the computer, be it at the back, and you can also fit the temperature sensors to the graphics card to monitor how hot that is. Once you've connected the X-Vision to the power, replace the side of the case and you can turn the computer on. And you can see here it's reporting on the speed of the fan by the CPU and also the temperature of the heatsink. You can vary the speed of the fan by pressing the set RPM button and then changing the dial. Now this is quite clever because you can also set it to sound an alarm when the temperature reaches a certain point. So that's really helpful that you can run the fan slowly when you're not doing much work, but without the risk of damaging your computer by letting it get too hot.